The purpose of this tutorial is to introduce you to a website called realtimeboard.com, which is a Web 2.0 tool that allows you to collaboratively create whiteboards that multiple users can edit at once. As you can see from some of these examples below, a number of different types of creative projects can be made using Realtime Board. Multiple users can be invited to edit the board, and another good feature is that it syncs up with your Google Drive account. So any documents that you have stored in your Google Drive account could be integrated into Realtime Board. So if this is something that you're interested in using, sign up for an account and log in straight into your account with your Google Drive account. If you don't have a Google Drive account, simply create an account using your email address. Once you've logged into Realtime Board, you have the ability to start creating a new board by pressing on this blue button. If you had already created a board that you want to continue editing, simply click on the board that you had started initially, and it will load here on the screen for you. This is an example of what the canvas looks like and all of the different features that you have within this canvas and all the different types of objects that you can embed into this board. I'll go through and show you what each of the tools within Realtime Board can do. Here at the top, there are 4 icons. The first one is the Home button, which will show you your dashboard with all of the boards that you've previously created, the updates by whoever had last edited your board, the friends that you have online at the moment, and the ability to create a new board here. The next icon here is the Boards icon, which will bring you back to the list of all of the boards that you've previously created. This icon here for People will show you all of the people that have been invited to edit this collaborative board. From here, you can invite other users to edit the board by clicking on the Invite button. Simply add an email address for the user that you'd like to edit the board and send away. Here is where you can actually view your library of objects that you can embed into Realtime Board. You have one option, which is to upload directly from your computer, finding documents, or you can actually paste a URL for a particular picture or object that you'd like to embed into the board. If you look down here, the Google Drive button is available, and by clicking on this Google Drive button, it will pull up all of the documents that you have stored within your Google Drive account. Realtime Board allows you to bring in images, but it also allows you to bring in PDFs as well. So once you've selected any of the documents or objects that you'd like to add to your board, you can simply click on it and drag it straight to the board. Here's an example of a PDF that I dragged from my Google Drive account into Realtime Board. Now from here, there's a number of things that I can do. I can use this pen tool here at the bottom and choose a color and begin writing. As you can see here, I chose yellow. It's not allowing me to highlight, but I can add some notes or underlining here. I can change the size of the pen tool to be a smaller pen width or a thicker one, and add as much as I want here. There's also the ability, if you do not want to include any of the pen, any of the writing that you had previously created, you can use this eraser and delete it, so it's no longer there. Another tool you have here is to insert a shape. You can insert a line or even an arrow if you wanted to connect multiple objects together with an arrow. You could also insert a square or a circle as well. Here you can actually begin typing text anywhere on the board. So I'll show you. I can just click on this A and find a spot, and I can begin typing. From here, if I wanted to, I can make this text larger, I can rotate it so it can go in multiple directions, and I can use this drop down here to change the color of the text as well. I can change the font size manually, and I can choose to lock this text in place so it can't be moved by anyone. In addition to adding text anywhere, you can also add a sticky note, which is what you see here. Here's an example of what the sticky note would look like. you can simply stick a sticky note and begin typing, and the text will actually adjust in size as you start typing. So the more text you type, you'll actually see the text will get smaller and smaller. You can drag this sticky note anywhere you'd like. And always when you've added an object to Realtime Board, if you no longer want it, you can click on this gear and go to the drop down at the bottom and press delete. Another type of text that you can add is a comment, and here you can see where a comment had previously been inserted, and by clicking on that comment you'd be able to read what it says, and it can be deleted here as well if you no longer want it. And finally, over here you have the ability to link objects together. So if you select an object, you can click on this linking tool and click on the first object and the object that you'd like it to be connected to with an arrow. And by clicking on this arrow here, this gear, you can change the color of the arrow and even the line type. If you want it to be a straight line with an arrow or a jaggedy line, you can choose the one that you'd like. And you can even click on that connector arrow and drag it to make it larger or smaller, however you'd like. Anytime you do something, if you'd like to undo it, this arrow here at the bottom will allow you to undo the things that you had previously created. And here there's a number of other tools. You can actually zoom in and zoom out if you'd like to, as well as using this hand tool will allow you to just pan the board and see the whole thing. The arrow tool is what you'll use to actually be able to select objects on this board. If you want to, you can use this share button here, and just like over here where you had inserted the name of or some email addresses, you can also insert those email addresses over here to invite other participants to your Realtime board. You can save the board itself as an image file, like a JPEG, so that you can just look at it at a glance later. You can even save it as a PDF, and you can copy the link to the board and email that to somebody for them to view it as well. Here where this looks like a little presentation slide, you have the ability in Realtime Board to add multiple pages, so you can pan through those pages and look at each slide. You can actually take a snapshot of a certain portion of the board and create a slide from that, and then you can actually play it as a presentation, kind of like a PowerPoint or a Prezi, after you had finished adding all of your content here. And finally, a really cool feature of Realtime Board, it has a chat box option here on the side, and if you are syncing your account to your Google Drive account, your name will appear here, and anybody who has the ability to collaboratively edit this board can use this chat box here, and their names will appear here in this list. And this can it cannot be deleted once it's been added, and since it is linked to names, if you did eventually use this with students, if you have students that have Google Drive accounts or Google Apps accounts, they can their names will show up here in this list with their chats, so they can be monitored. So this tutorial has been intended to show you how to use Realtime Board, and I hope you enjoyed.